What's up, YouTube? This your boy Bigboyfactsjonnytv, and tonight I'm gonna give you guys my AEW Dynamite review on highlights. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like button. It helps the YouTube algorithm. Also, subscribe to my channel. Find on my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord down below in the description. And let's get started. Now, AEW Dynamite was a decent show. That's all I gotta say. The show opens up with Jim Ross saying it's Wednesday night on catchphrase. The camera pans the crowd briefly, and then we hear the familiar sound of Jon Moxley's theme song. Jon Moxley returns, kick off this week's show. They should have ended with Jon Moxley returning. The former AEW World Champion makes his way to the ring to the familiar. Jon Moxley, intro by the Dapper Yapper, Justin Roberts. Eddie Kingston makes his way out behind Jon Moxley as the fans soak in the return of the violence as wild things play over the house speaker. Jon Moxley begins by yelling at a cat caller in the crowd by saying and telling security to get that piece of out of here. He then begins by talking about landing on an airplane in a city that doesn't even know and waking up from a dream. He continues telling the story, getting emotional as he talks about how no one goes through life. He says he got scars all over his body, but those aren't important. The ones that are come from inside. You can't see them, but those are the ones you should be proud of. The fans give him a applause break. As he continues, he says everyone shouldn't be unharmed, ashamed of those scars. They should bear it all and let the world know this is me. He then says he's sure there are plenty of people who write him off and doubt him. And he says if you want to doubt him, he'll tell you the same thing he told the demon in his dream. You can take all the and shove it up your what. He says he doesn't run from those demons. He just beats the out of them. He thanks everyone who has believed in him and then says to get ready for a ride in 2022 because he's gonna grab the world of wrestling by the balls and take whatever he wants. He says now more than ever he is truly free. The crowd wildly cheers again and break out into a chant of his name. He says he's thirsty and all he drinks is blood. He says he's going more dangerous now than he was before. He dropped the mic and walked off through the crowd to Wild Things the same way he entered. So we get MJF with a message to CM Punk, Wallow, and Sean Spears. We return from commercial break after our opener, and we shoot backstage to MJF with Wallow standing behind him. He goes on to be critical of CM Punk getting a tainted victory by grabbing Wallow's tights and roll him up last week instead of taking the loss to the chin like a man. He says a more seasoned veteran would have kicked out and then says he actually wanted to apologize to Wallow. He says he lost his cool on him last week. That's not okay. He tells Wallow that one thing he can't allow Ira is for him to put his hand on him. He tells him the financial punishment and then vows that Sean Spears will get the job done against him tonight. He wishes Wallow a happy birthday and says he's better than you and you know it. So we get a mixed tag team match: Adam Cole and Britt Baker DMD versus Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. We return inside the arena to Adam Cole's theme song. He and Britt Baker make their way down to the ring for the advertising mixed tag team match. The two settle in the ring and their music fades down after the crowd does the boom Adam Cole baby routine with him. From there, Orange Cassidy's theme hits and now he comes with accompanied by his tag team partner for tonight, Chris Statlander. The duo makes their way down to the ring. When their music cuts off, we get this one going. The bell sounds to make it official, and immediately we see Adam Cole tagging Britt Baker. Gets up in Cassidy's face and makes him tag, but he decided against it. He does his wimpy, soft, sweet chin music, kicks, and Britt Baker looks looks at him like he's a moron for stomping on his foot. Finally, Chris Statlander comes in and she drops Britt Baker and just does John Cena like you can't see me. Gesture to her while standing over here. She then gets to work for real, and the babyface's duel starts to take over. We we see a cool double team spot where Chris Statlander and Orange Cassidy are on the ring apron, and they hit double splash onto Baker and Adam Cole immediately. Afterwards, however, Adam Cole and Britt Baker hit a pair of super kicks after Cassidy and Chris Statlander gives the people what they wanted as a best friends hug. They happy couple gives each other a smooch and he then continues to go to work on Cassidy and Chris Statlander. We head into a mid-match commercial break. As we settle back from the commercial, we see things pick up after Adam Cole after Britt Baker and Adam Cole tried to finish the babyface team off a few times with no success. We see things go off the and deep end, and when Adam Cole blocked Baker from being finished off by Chris Statlander. Moments later, we see Baker put through a table on the floor, one that she and Adam Cole set up themselves. This enraged Adam Cole, who ends up taking out Cassie for a pinfall victory in the ring before quickly head back out to the floor to check on Baker, who is being viewed by ringside doctor and other AEW officials. The winner of the match, Adam Cole and Britt Baker, DMD. Next, we get Santana and Ortiz stand up for Eddie Kingston, and Chris Jericho doesn't flee them. We shoot backstage to Alex Marvez, who is standing by with Chris Jericho as well as the other Inner Circle members, Santana and Ortiz. Lee Champion talks about how he doesn't care about Eddie Kingston, and as he continues to dig at him, telling him to GFY, he is interrupted by Santana and Ortiz. The two tell him to tread lightly when talking about the Mad King because they don't care about him. They say he had a good point too when he mentioned how Jericho would be the reason why they have never held a tag team gold. They walk off after saying "feel me," to which Jericho replies, No, I don't feel you." We then head to another commercial break. Adam Cole reveals lights out match for AEW Beach Break. We return from the break to a very excited Adam Cole standing by for an interview with Alex Marvez. He takes the mic from Alex Marvez and tells him to get out. He talks about how he already had issues with Orange Cassidy, but now after he put his hands on his girlfriend, Big Britt Baker, it's a whole different situation. He vows to end his pathetic career in a lights out match that he informed us has been scheduled for next week's AEW Beach Break special. So we get Shawn Spears versus CM Punk. Following in a video package to set the stage for our next match of the evening, we head back inside the arena where Shawn Spears gets a big time ring entrance for his advertised feature about against the best in the world. From there, Shawn Spears settled in the ring and awaits his music to cut off. When it does, the theme for CM Punk plays, and out comes here comes the ground in front of him and then informs everyone in shadow distance that it is the fact clobbering time. He makes his way down to the ring as the fans already breaking into a loud CM Punk chant. Once he enters the ring, his music cuts off and the theme for MJF begins playing. Spears is seen in the background applying this as MJF emerges at the top of the entrance ramp. MJF makes his way over to join Jim Ross and Escobar and Tony Schiavone on guest commentator for this feature contest. His music cuts off as he began talking on commentary, and then the bell sounded to get this one off and running immediately. CM Punk holds Spears up and his G go to sleep for the insanely fast pinfall victory. So the winner of the match, CM Punk. After the match, CM Punk almost gets his hands on MJF. Once the match ends, CM Punk turns and points to MJF at the commentary section and does the GTS. Gaster, MJF acts like he's not going to do anything as CM Punk turns to climb the ropes to celebrate his victory. MJF hits the ring and sliding in behind CM Punk. CM Punk drops down to the mat again and then grabs MJF's scarf. MJF gets the scarf slide around his neck as he backs up and slide another in the rope to head to the back. The Gun Club makes a statement at Christian Cage expense. We shoot backstage after we are told Billy Gunn has taken over the cameraman and forced him to follow him out to the parking lot. We see Christian Cage make his entrance to the arena and Billy Gunn approaches him. Billy Gunn assaults Christian Cage and eventually we see Christian Cage tell Billy Gunn that he never had that statement victory in his career. Just like his son, Gunn stopped him from walking away after Colton and Alton. Gunn hit the scene and the three beat him down and leave him laying. They ask how's that for a statement to end the segment. Cody Rhodes promo on CM Punk pipe bomb, Forbidden Door and beach break. The American Nightmare makes his way down to the ring to the usual mixed bad crowd reaction from the fans in Washington D.C. As he nears the ring to commentator talk us into a pre-segment commercial break. Cody Rhodes returns from COVID-19 is up next. When we return from the break, Cody is shown standing in the ring with his TNT Championship in his hand and a ladder set up behind him. He asks the booing fans behind him, "What do you want to talk about?" He goes on to talk about being reminded of a man who gave one of the most important address of our sport. He says it was the first hint of a revolution. He says talking about CM Punk and his classic pipe bomb. He mentioned that someone told him to save this promo, but because he doesn't know if he gets the chance, he's gonna do it now. Cody Rhodes mentioned things that CM Punk brought up in the pipe bomb and then says he never got to do many of them, such as going to ROH, teaming with the Young Bucks and others. He points out that he did those things. He gets angry and doing so and asks heel as he emotionally explains why he won't turn heel. He says it because the fans cheer him when he need them most. Now he brings up the forbidden door and says it's proper now. It's vernacular. He says if you're in industry journalist and you disagree with anything he said, you are not a real journalist. He says he's the one who actually built the forbidden door. The fans tried to break out into a Cody chant. It spread pretty big throughout the arena, but many fans are still booing as well. Um, y'all, y'all should have had Cody. Y'all should have had Cody turn heel right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind. I don't mind Cody turning heel. I don't mind it, but we want to give it time. But anyway, I just want to put out there that Cody needs to turn heel instead of being the baby face. He talks about the Red Dragon and Young Bucks nearly starting a second Wednesday night wars last week. He talks about his real life friend Ricky Starks getting into a feud with Jay Lethal. He tells him to avoid the lethal kick finisher from him. He then brings up Malachi Black. He says he's a guy with hung two loss on his name, and he points out he hates to lose. From there, he mentioned that they didn't change names in AEW. He marks WWE renaming Walter the Gutter. Something he goes on to mention is ballsy to call yourself Brody in a place like AEW before finally getting to the point of his promo, which is to challenge Sammy Guevara to a ladder match to unify the world and turn on TNT title at AEW Beach Break. So we get Jay Cargill has some big news. We shoot backstage to Jay Cargill, who is with Tony Schiavone. Also in the picture is John Silver and Anna Jay from the Dark Order. Jay Cargill managers speak up on their behalf. Anna wants a title shot, and she is apparently the one who will be accepted in an open challenge from Jay. So we get Malachi Black and Brody King versus the Varsity Blondes. This was a quick match, by the way. Now back inside the arena, the theme for Malachi Black and out he comes, along with Brody King. The duo settle inside the ring and their music cuts off. From there, the entrance of Varsity Blondes take place. Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Grayson makes their way down to the ring for this advertising tag bout. The bell sound and we are now officially running with this one. Early on, we see Garrison go right after the opposition, but it isn't long before Malachi Black turns the tables with the help of Brody King. Brody King tags in and takes over, dominating Garrison and then Darling Philman Jr. to a springboard into the ring from the top rope like he normally does after Garrison tags him in. Philman, Philman Jr. and Garrison talk on the floor while Brody Kingston watches. Brody Kingston exits the ring and comes up behind them. Garrison runs into the ring and blasts Black and tries to drop kick Brody on the floor through the ropes. However, it backfires. We see Philman Jr. try to pick up things from there, but instead Malachi Black and Brody Kingston, um, Brody King double team him and eventually finish him off to pick up their first victory pinfall. The winner of the match, Malachi Black and Brody King. After the match, Pac addressed Malachi Black and Brody King. Once the match wraps up, we see Pac appear on the big screen in a room with red lights and a blindfold on. He talks about the House of Black and how the bastard is beyond even Malachi Black's reach. He shows a justice. He showed a justice card and said he supposed this is the moment he expect him to bow down and call him master. He tells Malachi Black that he's going to make him out of them, make it out of him. So we get Lance Archer is next for Hangman's Page. Um, a Vengeance airs now showing the return of the Murder Hawk monster Lance Archer on the last week's show. He is showing talking as is Jake, the Snake Roberts, and Dan Lambert. They make it clear to have their sights set on AEW World Champion Hangman Adam Page. After this, we head to a commercial break. The Best Friends hijack Color Cam to ensure a challenge. We return and the commentary send us to a color cam segment. We're expecting the Young Bucks, but instead comes another duel. The Best Friends appear and challenge the Bucks, claiming they are the teams to best to beat them, even though they haven't won a match once much as of late. So we get Frankie Kazarian versus Lance Archer. Decent match. Um, now we're back inside the arena where Frankie Kazarian comes to the ring, introduced by Justin Roberts as Frank Frankie Kazarian. He sells in the ring and his music dies down. For the theme of Lance Archer plays and out comes the Murder Hawk Monster, accompanied by Jake Roberts and Dan Lambert. His music dies down and it's time to get this one underway. We hear the bell to get this one started, and immediately Lance Archer charges across the ring and nearly takes Kazarian's head off. He follows that up by gloating to the crowd before getting back to work on him some more. As the slide as the sliding domination continues, we head to a match commercial break. When we return from the break, Lance Archer is still in control of the action. After a few minutes of the beatdown continue, Kazarian gets in a little bit of offense of his own. He doesn't last long. However, Lance Archer catches him with a choke slam to shift momentum back in his favor. He hits the rip code into the helicopter. Now he holds Kazarian up to the top and brings him off the top his black with his blackout finish for the pin for victory. The winner of the match, Lance Archer. Decent match. After the match, Hangman Page defends Cowboy. You know what? Once the match wraps up, we hear Dan Lambert on the mic, raving about Hangman Page beating the AEW World Champion eventually. Lance Archer takes the mic and says he's sick of hearing about all those fans. Cowboy, you know what? He then says he going to show us some real cowboy, you know what? On that note, Lance Archer grabs Kazarian and takes him up to the ramp with evil intentions. Before he can do what he had planned, Hangman Page makes his way out and gets right in Archer's face. He, you know what, slaps him right across the mouth, and the fight is on. The champ and Archer duke it out when in the ring. Archer looks to hit his blackout finish on the champ. Instead, Heyman escapes and looks for his buckshot lariat. He doesn't get it, but he does get the better of Archer as he remains in the ring standing tall while Archer doesn't. So we get Dante Martin and Team Taz rivalry continues. We shoot backstage to Alex Marvez, who is with Dante Martin, Lee Monteri and Matt Sydal. He talks to Martin about saving Matt Sydal and Monteri from an attack from Team Taz. He says they are like brothers. They come to have his back too. Um, from there we shoot to the FTW champion Ricky Starks and fellow Team Taz member Powerhouse Hobbs. Starks point out Martin's potential brother complex. He and Hobbs vow to be a thorn in their inside. We head to a commercial break after this. So get legit Layla Hirsch attack Red Velvet and Chris Statlander. As we settle back in from the break, Tony Schiavone is backstage with Chris Statlander, who has Red Velvet by her side. He asked Chris Statlander about her hard hitting match early tonight and how she appears bandaged up still. Before she can say much of anything, walk up legit Layla Hirsch, who has a lot to say to Chris Statlander, promoting Red Velvet to come to her defense. This only angers Layla Hirsch more, who complains about Red Velvet having Chris Statlander's back. As Red turns to say something to Chris Statlander, she is attacked from behind by Layla Hirsch. Chris Statlander kneels down to check on Red Velvet, and Layla Hirsch attacks her from behind as well, slapping an armbar on her and having to be separated by officials backstage. Sky Blue versus Serena Depp. This was a quick match. Now we head back inside the arena where Sky Blue steam hits and she races her way down to the ring. Once the AEW Women's Division competitor settles in the ring, her music dies down. From there, Serena Depp enters, music hits, and out she comes for our next one-on-one match here on this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Early on, we see Blue trying to hold her with the more expensive Deb. However, it is at one slot affair from Jump Street. She beats Blue down with ease and then hits a swinging neckbreaker. After hitting the move, it elects a loud Deb chant from the fans in Washington, D.C., which Tony Schiavone explains is very close to our hometown. From there, she hits her finish her, and then applies the Serenity Lock for the submission victory. The winner of the match, Serena Depp. Ethan Page wants a piece of Jon Moxley. We shoot backstage to the Man of the Year with Dan Lambert. I can't stand Dan Lambert. So Showstopper TV, if you agree with me, we both cannot stand Dan Lambert. Standing by their side. Ego Ethan Page does the talking, and he points out no one seems interested in facing off with Jon Moxley after he returns tonight. He tells Tony Khan to look no further and offer himself up for the spot. He wraps the segment up, and the commentators run down the Rampage lineup for Friday, where they confirmed that the Moxley versus Page match. Sammy Guevara flips through the cards from the beach. After running down the rest of the Rampage lineup as well as confirming some matches for the AEW Dynamite Beach Break special, we shoot to a commercial break. During the break, Sammy Guevara flips through his cool car with messages written on them from a balcony near a beach as air ad aired with the audio playing on the other half of the screen. The Hardy family office gets modified name new majority owner. We return from the break to another AEW Beach Break match. Announcement that Layla Hirsch will go one on one against Red Velvet. Now we shoot to the backstage area where Tony Schiavone is standing by with Matt Hardy, Andrade, and members of the Hardy family office. Hardy goes Matt Hardy goes on to make some announcements. He and Andrade revealed that they have come to a business arrangement. They then listen. I'm sorry. They then list some of the details, which includes 50% off the HFO ownership going to Andrade, while Hardy retains 49% and 3 seats on the board of the directors. The other two belong to Andrade and Joe's. He also named Andrade the president of the renamed AHFO. After this, we head back to the commentary team, who gets us ready for our main event: the Acclaim versus Darby Allin Sting. This was not the main event. This match card should not be on the main event. The only thing that should be main eventing was Jon Moxley returning, just like I mentioned earlier. So the Acclaim versus Darby Allin and Sting. Alright. A normally Darby Allin style intro video airs in black and white, but ends up being the Acclaim and a pre-shot pre-shot. They then the duo emerged in the arena, rapping their way to the ring, boasting how they are black and white without face paint, unlike their opponents tonight. From there, they settle into the ring, and we watch as Max Caster and Anthony Bones awaits their interest of their opponents for tonight's headline bout of the show here on Dynamite on TBS. On that note, the theme for Darby Allin plays, and he wastes no time coming out. He stops and waits, and then the theme for Sting plays as snow falls from the Raptors and the lights turn blue. The two make their way down to the ring, and as soon as they enter the ring, they are brutalized by Max Caster and Anthony Mouse with a steel chair. Before bell even rings, they take Sting out with one momentarily and then focus on Darby. They put Darby's head through a chair and then run him along the apron into a steel ring post, where the chair on his head smashes into the post and Darby Allin crushes and burns on the floor. Blown below at ringside, the doctors immediately flock to the scene to check on Darby Allin. Sting stumbles into the ring and then heads over to check on Darby Allin. The commentators get us ready for the reality of Sting in a handicap match against the Acclaim instead of the original advertised tag team main event. The ringside doctor and other AEW officials help Darby Allin to the back while Sting fires up and begins beating down both members of the Acclaim by himself. He knocks them out of the ring and follows them out to continue his beatdown on the heel duel. Back in the ring, Sting is still in control. He hits a Stinger splash on Max Caster and looks to do the same to Anthony Bones, but doesn't work. And out as he had planned instead, the duel hit some double team action on him, and then we head to a mid-match commercial break as they shift to momentum in their favor as the match continues. When we return from the break, we see the Acclaim still in control of the action. They are working over the icon, and then they set him up across the still barricade at ringside with intentions from finish him off. Instead, Darby Allin makes it to the same scene just in time to take them out to save his buddy. The commentators put over the toughness of Darby Allin as he returned following the pre-match card attack to his neck. He fires up and hits a coffin drop on Anthony Bounce on the floor. In the ring, he hits a cold red on Max Caster and nearly finish him off with a choke. Anthony Bounce ends up tagging in, however, and blasting Darby Allin with a super kick. This sets up the mic drop from Max Caster, but Sting hits the ring to break up the pin attempt. He clotheslines Max Caster out of the ring and then back body drops Anthony Bounce out of the ring as well. Sting heads up to the entrance and then he gives himself some room to run, and when he does, he runs off the ramp and puts Max Caster through a table. We see Anthony Bounce back in the ring running into an exposed turnbuckle that he took the padding of earlier. Darby Allin follows up with a big move and then head to the top where he leaps off with his coffin drop finisher for the 1-2-3. The teams of Sting and Darby Allin win this week's tag team main event, which was an excellent match. Once the match wraps up, we see Darby and Sting celebrating their victory by posing for the fans in Washington, D.C. The commentary team reminds us about the live edition of Rampage this Friday night on TNT. Before once again plug in next week's Beach Break edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. That's how this week's show goes off the air. Thanks for joining us. The winner of the match, Darby Allin and Sting. Alright, like I stated earlier, now AEW Dynamite was a decent show, but they should have ended the show when Jon Moxley returns, and that's all I got to say from here. But anyway, AEW Dynamite was a decent show, and that's all I got to say from here. But anyway, if you guys enjoyed my AEW Dynamite review on highlights, please give this video a big fat thumbs up. Comment down below on what are your thoughts on AEW Dynamite tonight. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, tap that notification bell whenever I go live on YouTube. Follow my social media, my Twitter, my Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitch, and Discord down below in the description. And that's all I gotta say from here. But hopefully, very soon, I will be returning to Twitch, so I can start streaming again on Twitch. So very soon, I will return on Twitch very soon by streaming on Twitch once again. So you guys keep me in your prayers that I make my return on Twitch, and that's all I gotta say from there. Just keep me in your prayers. And that's all I gotta say from here. But anyway, this your boy Bigboyfactsjonnytv. Have a great night. Stay safe and always stay positive. And I'm out of here.